All right. Welcome back, guys, to our upcoming week, what we have going on. Hope everyone is enjoying their weekend, and we are going to look at some charts and see what we have in store for us. Before I get into it, we are relaunching our website. Please do check it out. It's gonna be live tonight, so make sure you guys check that out, which should be live sometime overnight tonight, and give us a feedback. All right, let's see what we have coming up. This week is going to be pretty volatile. We have a lot happening, especially starting on Wednesday. We got the FOMC minutes and Powell speaking. So everybody is waiting to hear what he has to say, especially about the interest rates, if he's going to cut or when is he going to cut or what does he have to say. So that's going to be pretty important on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we got the initial jobless claim numbers coming up pre-market. And then Friday, you got tons of Feds speaking. So Friday might be another volatile day. So just make sure if you are in any trade that you are keeping proper stop losses. So don't want anybody to get caught in this this volatility and you end up losing some money. So just be careful. All right, and we got quite a bit of big name earnings as well. Some of the things that I am watching is the Palantir. I'm already in the HEMS trade, which I did share with you guys last week. And the chart that I shared was last week in Discord group is pretty much playing out. So we'll look at it again. And then some of the things that I'm watching are your SMCI, AMD, pretty important. And then you got Uber, Disney, ARM, and DoorDash. That's going to be on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we got Shopify, Coinbase, TTD, and what else was it? DraftKings and Affirm. So these are some of the names that I will definitely be keeping an eye on. What do they have for us in store? So let's look at ES. Currently, futures did open up about an hour and a half ago. We are currently down 28 points and did not break above 5,700. We do have a supply to the upside here. But the first level is we need to see if we are going to break above the 5,700 level and then continue retest this supply zone. To the downside, our target remains first 56.45. Anywhere here, if we can get some sort of a bounce to the upside, that would be ideal. But however, if ES is struggling above 5,700, or we might be sideways for Monday and Tuesday because everybody's going to be waiting for the news on Wednesday, what Powell has to say. So just keep in mind, either we need to break above 5,700 to continue, or we need to break below 56.45 to see some of our levels to the downside play out. Okay, SPY, this is the chart that I shared with you guys last week in the group. So far, SPY has filled that gap. We have a couple gaps to the downside now, and we are following this path. Depending on if ES can break above 5,700, we can see 5,580 as our next target. But obviously, it needs to clear 570, 572, and so on to continue to the upside of it. Okay. Some of the stocks that I am watching, which I did share some of these charts were shared in the Discord because I didn't do a video last weekend. Apple, we got our perfect rejection and half of that gap got filled. We still have a gap that wasn't fully filled. So what I'm watching is to see if 202 and then 200 can be broken. Then I would like this path to play out. I do have a pretty ugly target on Apple. Not saying it's going to pan out in one go, but this is what we have it on. So we'll see. First, definitely 200 is what I want to see if it can break and continue to the downside. Next is Boeing. Boeing is right in the supply zone, and we have pretty much retraced our our fibs to the upside. So I'm looking to see if it has a little bit more room. I would prefer a rejection somewhere in this supply zone, 190, 192 area, with my stop loss at 194 to take some sort of a put. So that's what I am watching on Boeing. And then on Google, let's see if we can, actually Google is the one stock that I really like out of all of them. If it can clear 165, we do have a target to the upside 170 and then 173 area and up on sowards to see if we can get the full retracement on our fibs. So those are your targets to the upside on Google. Even a little bit of sideways, I don't mind, as long as we stay above 161. Use 161 as your stop loss, and then this is one I would definitely buy time on it. I wouldn't do something short term, but that's what we have on Google. And let's see, IWM. It's at a level where I would like it to pull back. So I am watching to see, as long as we do not clear 200 or a rejection somewhere in the supply zone. So I do have a supply up here as well. Any of these here getting a rejection, but remember IWM is the one that will give us a reaction, bigger reaction on Wednesday, depending on whether Powell cuts the rates or doesn't cut the rate. So this is one that you definitely want to be watching. Next is Lulu. Do like how it built a stage one and got out of the demand zone on the daily, but I really like how the weekly is looking. And as long as weekly can hold and continue to break above 280, it definitely has a little bit more room to the upside. So keep an eye on Lulu. Let's look at Meta. Meta, another one that is definitely playing out nicely. We do have a supply, but this supply can get flipped. Meta has been a little bit stronger than a lot of the other names. So if Meta can clear 600, this will give us our full retracement on the fibs, and our next supply zone is from 660 to about 700 area. Anywhere a rejection in here would be ideal. So I definitely like the weekly and the daily chart on Meta. We do have a gap to the downside. Even if this week we do gap down and this gap gets filled and return back up, would not be a bad play to keep an eye on. What do we have next? Nvidia. A little bit more room in Nvidia to keep going. If we can clear 115, 116 area here, we could see this one top it off somewhere in the 120 to 124 area, and then I would like a pullback. And my targets still remains here based on the Elliott waves. I am still looking for Nvidia to come in this zone. I know it's a crazy target, but depending on what market does, anything is possible. What else do we have? Netflix has played out perfectly with our retracement fibs. So Netflix still has a little bit more room to the upside. 1200 seems like pretty easily doable for Netflix. Even if we have a little bit of a pullback, as long as we hold above the 1100 area, has a room to the upside as well. Let's look at QQQ. QQQ has supply coming up. So if we clear 490, your first target is 496 and then top of the supply zone. Unless this supply gets flipped, we do have gap in this area as well. So what else do we want to look at? Netflix. Let's look at Tesla, everyone's favorite. So far, we are at a level where I've been looking for it to reject. As long as we don't clear 296, 297 area, I'm looking for it to downside. We do have a bear flag on the daily. 4-day is even more prominent. So as long as we don't clear the 297, or even if you have a wick that touches the 300 level area, as long as the candle doesn't close above it, I'm looking for that bear flag to play out. Okay, next is HIMS. This is the one we took the trade on it, and they do have, I believe, earnings coming up as well, Monday after close. I still think it has a little bit more room. Weekly looks amazing too. I'm still holding a few of my runners, and this is what I'm looking for, somewhere in this supply zone for a reaction or a rejection. And then what else? Let's see. Walmart has a gap. I wouldn't mind a little bit of this gap getting filled, and as long as we don't have, let's say, this week's weekly candle close above 100, we could see this one drop nicely. So definitely something to keep an eye on, Walmart. And the next one I am watching is Bull. Has a room for this demand zone and this gap kind of here on Bull. So if we can fill this, let's say we get some sort of move to here and then take off, I'm actually bullish on Bull. So let's see if we can get this move a nice engulfing candle. So any pullback, as long as we hold, I would say $12, definitely room to the upside. I do like this kind of a falling wedge kind of pattern on Bull. If we can break out of this downtrend, does look good to the upside of it. Okay, I think this is all I have for this week. Stay safe. Again, this is all for educational purposes. If you guys like it, please don't forget to subscribe the channel. That's about it. Thank you.